Today, I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Supratim Mukhopadhyay. He's Director of APAC Pre-Sales at Hexagon. Thank you very much for joining us, Supratim.
Thank you, Amanda. It's a pleasure to be here.
And Supratim, could you tell me a little bit about Hexagon's key business priorities at the moment?
Yes, as we all know, the situation around the world is not that perfect at the moment, especially within our industry, having focused our solutions most of the time to the oil and gas industry. So in addition to the COVID-19 pandemic that's going on around the world, we also have an additional challenge with oil prices suddenly dropping as well. So obviously, as a business, we want to continue to focus on in supporting our customer base, which is very critical for us, and we are continuing to do that. It's amazing to see how quickly our customers have started transitioning into a more remote-based working environment as well, which has been quite convenient for us to be able to continue to keep touch with customers and continuing to support their businesses. I think that's the most important aspect at the moment from a business perspective for us, is to not let these challenges impact the way we engage with our customer base.
And you mentioned the current pandemic. What do you think the medium-term impact of COVID-19 will be on the downstream industry?
Look, I think there will certainly be an impact, and significant one, I believe. Having said that, there are things already in motion within the industry, not just now, for the last few years, which I believe have positioned us quite well in tackling these kind of situations. Obviously, there's still a lot of work to be done within the downstream industry to improve the way that we can utilize technologies in enabling operations, ongoing operations of facilities, and that is going to be the most important thing going forward. So we have already started along that journey. Most of our customer base has, and it's important to continue along that path, because this it may not just be the one-off that a lot of people might be thinking about. And it may not be another COVID-19 or COVID-2022, but it could be other factors that may be impacting our industry going forward as well. So it kind of is a wake-up call for those who haven't started on that digital transformation journey. But at the same time, for those who already have, I think they're already starting to see the benefits of it.
And as you mentioned, oil prices can fluctuate in the market. And what is your main tip for businesses and operators in the industry to remain profitable and manage these fluctuations in oil prices?
That's an interesting question, and I don't know if I am a perfect tipper on that aspect, Amanda. But look, I think any business needs to look at it from a revenue versus cost, right? And as I mentioned, cost is one thing that our industry has had a look at and has been looking at quite significantly, and looking at the ways of reducing cost, not just from a pure cost reduction perspective, but more from an improvement of increasing efficiency perspective. And I keep coming back to the same point where as a technology and solution provider to those industries, we strongly feel that that's one of the ways that companies can continue to manage the cost, improving efficiency, utilizing their resources to the core business benefits, as opposed to having multiple facets of managing a business all in-house and so on. Which is where technology providers come in, and they should be partnering with these organizations to help them through these times as well. So there's no single answer to that. There are multiple things that need to happen with respect to adoption of new technologies, as well as looking at improving efficiency generally. Obviously, keeping in mind that safety is always going to be number one priority.
And you mentioned technology. Do you feel that the industry is becoming increasingly digitalized? And what is the impact of new technologies like AI on the market?
Yes, indeed, it is. And it has to be, right? Technology, the way has changed over a very short period of time is amazing. I mean, starting with cloud computing, artificial intelligence capability, machine learning, these are advancements in technology that, in my opinion, are um, best utilized to achieve those goals that businesses have been trying to do of reducing cost, reducing waste, increasing and improving efficiency, improving production. So technology will have an immense impact on it. Artificial intelligence, for example, we as a solution provider are starting to look at how we can embed that within our technologies to increase the efficiency of our solutions in providing results to our customers and helping them achieve their outcomes sooner rather than what we had to do 15 years ago, where our engagement with them would be for 12, 14 months before they would see the results at times. So it will have a significant impact on the solutions from the solution provider's perspective, as well as the users, in how these technologies will bring quicker insights for them to make more informed decisions sooner rather than later.
And it's interesting you mentioned reduction of waste. Do you think that technology can help businesses also align with sustainability goals?
Absolutely. Um, if you just think about supply chain during the execution of a project, the most cost that is a company incurs is through wastage of having ordered materials that are finally not used in the construction of the facility. Technology streamlines that process, supply chain management, tracking of materials through the supply chain process all the way through to the coming to site, being received on site. That itself will improve and the efficiency of the supply chain process, as well as reduce waste. In addition to that, if you start all the way from the design phase of the facility, having the right design, having a 3D way of looking at your facility will produce the bill of materials in a way where it is more precise, which will allow the procurement team to order just the right amount of materials for the construction of the facility. So all combined, it will certainly reduce waste and as a result, of course, have an impact on a less impact on the environment and more sustainable way of building and operating these facilities ongoing.
And it's a busy marketplace. How do solutions providers like Hexagon differentiate and stand out from the crowd?
It certainly is a busy marketplace. Technology providers, the traditional ones like us, we've been around for more than 50 years now, and we have a lot of competition coming up with the new, more the new technology creators than the traditional competitors we've had in the market, right? But what we provide to our customer base is more than a solution provider or a vendor, a partnership. We embed ourselves in the business. We understand their business because we have been around in the industry for quite a long time. In addition to that, we understand what outcomes customers are trying to achieve within this industry. And rather than just providing solutions, we try and understand those outcomes. And the solution is just a means of helping them achieve those outcomes. Another way that we are looking at expanding that is not just, we are not the only solution provider in this industry. We appreciate that. Our customer base uses more and more solutions from different providers as well. So we are partnering with other solution providers. We have a global partnership with Aspen Tech, for example, which we are starting to leverage as a way of providing more value to our customer base. So from two perspectives, looking at our partners and helping them achieve their goals customers, and helping them achieve their goals as a partner, as well as partnering with other solution providers in coming up with more strategic solutions that make more impact to our customers' business.
And what does success look like for you in the downstream oil and gas industry?
I think it is along the same lines as my previous answer, Amanda, in that we really believe in becoming strategic advisors to our customer base. And the more strategic advisory capability that we have, or more of our customer base accepting and adopting our strategic advice, is probably the most significant success for us. In addition to obviously utilizing the solutions that we have as a result of that. So I would say that would be the number one success factor for us, where majority of the downstream customer base looks at Hexagon as a strategic partner.
And finally, Supratim, what would be your main tip for operators to help achieve their business goals?
Again, I would say, in spite of the challenges that we are facing at the moment, with the oil prices being down, but this is not something that downstream, operators have not faced in the past. Oil prices are a cyclical way it happens in the market. It goes up, it comes down, and they've gone through similar situations in the past. COVID-19, on the other hand, has had a different kind of impact, where people have not been able to be on the facility to operate in the right way, and hopefully it hasn't impacted production that much. Again, I would go back to looking at those core components in running the business, and looking at the areas that can be improved, that can help us adopt new technologies a little bit quicker. Our industry is a little bit conservative from that perspective. So I believe that will help us open up to the new technologies a little bit sooner than having to go through a 4 or 5 year cycle of new technologies being adopted within our industry. So looking from that perspective, looking at true adoption of technology, but with the focus of what business outcomes we want to achieve. Technology is not just a way of, it's not something just for the sake of acquiring as an asset. There has to be a real target against it. And that I believe will help the industry quite a lot.
Thank you very much, Supratim. Look forward to seeing you and Hexagon at the event.
So do I, Amanda. Thanks very much.